Hey y'all, it's Lizzie Spivey.
And it's Shacey Boyd, and we hope y'all enjoy this episode of Pup Files. Interviewing Riley Raper. Riley plays basketball here at MJHS. Riley moved here this year. Now here's Emily with Riley.
Okay, Riley, what sport do you play?
Basketball.
How much do you like the sport, rate 1 to 10?
10.
Why?
Because I've been playing basketball since I was little, and I love it a lot.
Do you enjoy this school, seeing how you just moved here?
I enjoy it a lot.
Why?
Because when I moved here, I made a lot of new friends.
Do you think that this year is going to be a blast with basketball and the school year?
I do, because our team is getting a lot better and we're winning a lot more games.
What is your favorite part about basketball?
My favorite part is going into practice every day and seeing my team get better.
Okay, what do you look forward to every day?
I look forward to seeing my friends at school.
What do you do for fun?
I play basketball and I hunt and I like to be outside a lot.
What are some things that are different here at MJHS than Wonderview?
At Wonderview, we only had 30 or so kids in a grade, and at Morrilton, it's just a lot bigger.
How old were you when you first started playing basketball?
I was 5.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Riley with the interview. Now we have Christmas around the world. Over the past few months, we have all celebrated the holidays with our families. Here are some how other families around the world have celebrated. In the Jewish culture, they celebrate a holiday called Hanukkah. In Germany, they celebrate a harvest festival of thanks, which is primarily a religious celebration. And in Japan, they celebrate Labor Thanksgiving Day to express gratitude to one another for work done throughout the year.
Thank you, Lizzie, for talking about our holidays. You may have noticed our friends wearing more camouflage clothes to school recently. That's because it's hunting season in Arkansas. Hunting is defined by Merriam-Webster as the act of pursuing and killing wild animals. In Arkansas, it's done primarily for food. There are many different kinds of hunting like bear, boar, crow, deer, duck, turkey, and elk, but each kind can only be done in its season, which is set by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Right now, it's deer season. Modern gun season opened on November 9th and runs through December 1st. In modern gun season, hunters can use a variety of their rifles or shotgun. Each gun has a specific caliber, which is the size of the barrel of the gun or the ammunition used by the hunter. Some hunters use 12-gauge shotguns, for example, to hunt for ducks during duck season, while others use a .270 rifle for deer hunting. You can even use guns like the ones our forefathers used called muzzleloaders, which are loaded from the front of the gun. Sometimes hunters don't use guns at all, but use a bow and arrow. This is harder to do than to hunt with a gun, though, and it's done by fewer people. Hunting is usually done from some kind of stand. Stands can be in trees along riverbanks or in the middle of flooded rice fields or on the ground near where the animals come for food or water. These stands can be called blinds, tripod stands, box stands, a climbing stand, or a look-on stand. The type of stand you use will depend on what you're hunting. 2 other seasons are bow season and muzzleloader. The current bow season began on September 28th and will run through February 28th of 2014. The next muzzleloader season will begin December 14th and will end on December 16th. You can hunt many animals in Arkansas. Each one presents its own unique challenges. Hunting can be a fun time spent in the woods or at camp with your family and friends. Blake Poteet shared his most recent experience hunting. He was hunting early in the morning at the Plummerville Bottoms. This was his first time hunting there. He saw 5 does and 2 bucks, but he didn't attempt to shoot at them. Finally, a 7-point ran by Blake's stand while it was chasing a doe. Blake pulled out his .243 and shot at it. The buck ran about 10 yards before it died. That was Blake's hunting experience.
Thank you, JC, for telling us about hunting. Now we have Asia Osler interviewing Miss Ingram. Miss Ingram is the art teacher here at MJHS. Here's Asia.
Hi, I'm Asia Osler here with Miss Carson, art teacher, and we have a couple questions. How many years have you been teaching?
This is my 3rd year teaching.
What is your favorite memory of being a teacher?
Well, I guess here at this school, my favorite memory has been the art students making Christmas decorations and stuff to take home, and aligning my curriculum with the history teachers this year.
Okay. What about being an art teacher do you like?
I like that I pretty much get to play craft all day. I get to make stuff that I see on Pinterest along with my students, and kind of I get to let them experience art on their own, how they can create it themselves.
What is your favorite topic or subject to teach in art?
My favorite would have to be modern art, because I think the students really get a kick out of how random the modern art is.
What is the hardest thing about being an art teacher?
The hardest thing is trying to convince students that art does impact their lives and it does affect each culture individually, and it's really hard to also get the support from adults as well sometimes.
Okay. What influenced you to be an art teacher?
From the age of, I guess, about 8 years old on, my parents drug me around to a lot of different museums, and I got to experience art at a very young age and was able to appreciate it at an early age, and kind of just fell in love from there.
Have you taught anywhere else other than MJHS?
My first year I taught at Perryville. Mr. Hogan actually hired me there before he left. It just wasn't home for me, and I'm from Morrilton, and I really like it here.
What is something that's different from
The culture is a little bit different. At Perryville, they're filled with hunters, and I'm just not used to that type of lifestyle. And here in Morrilton, there's a little bit more diversity, and I think that's why I fit in here so well.
So is it easier teaching here or in Perryville?
I feel like it's a little bit easier here.
Have you always wanted to be an art teacher since you were little?
No, actually I want to be a museum curator, the one who brings in the artworks for the different exhibitions. And then I went to college and fell in love with teaching art, and that's how I became an art teacher.
Okay. What are some things that inspire you?
My family, my husband, and students around me. They sometimes catch me off guard, but they really do inspire me to become a better teacher.
Okay. Who is your favorite artist?
One of my favorite artists is Simeon Solomon. He's one of the early Pre-Raphaelite painters.
Okay. What was your first year teaching?
It was very difficult. I did not have a very strong classroom management skill set. I really wasn't prepared for the classroom, and it's completely different from when you're a student to when you're a teacher. You don't realize that until you're like third year.
And what are 3 things you would like your students to know about when they leave your classroom?
I want them to know the basics about the principles and elements of art, and just how art can affect them in everyday life.
Okay, can you give us examples of how art can affect them?
By the clothes we wear, by the music we listen to, art is all around us. Even the buildings that we have classes in, our homes, they're all designed with the art background.
Okay. What would you tell someone who wants to be an art teacher?
Take your time through college and make sure it's really what you want to do, and then once you get through your undergrad, I would strongly recommend getting your master's.
Thank you, Ms. Carson, for doing this interview, and I'm Aisha Austin.
Ingram. We're here interviewing Coach Harrell. Coach Harrell coaches 7th grade boys basketball and assists with the high school basketball. He's also the track coordinator. Now here's Mason with the interview.
This is Mason Adams here with our mystery interview, Coach Harrell. Coach Harrell, what was your favorite sport growing up?
Basketball, of course.
How old were you when you started playing basketball?
I started playing when I was in the 5th grade, so whatever age that makes me.
What position did you used to play?
In high school, I played center, and in college, I played a guard.
What other sports did you play growing up?
I played football and baseball, never soccer. That's about the only one I didn't play.
What high school did you play for?
I played for Alma, unfortunately.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
How did you know you wanted to be a coach?
I love the game, wanted to be around and continue to help other people learn the game and stuff like that.
What do you think the weaknesses are on our team?
The weaknesses mostly that I see are experience. We we've got good athletes and we've got good, smart players. We just don't have the experience that a lot of other teams have right now.
What are some of the strengths?
Strengths, like I said, we got good athletes and we're intelligent, I think. We seem to be picking up drills and stuff like that fairly well in plays. It's just getting the experience and seeing what it looks like on the floor for us right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for watching the December episode of Pup Files.
Hope you tune in next time.